And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 19, chase race number 9 of the NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series. We're getting ready here for the next to last race of the season before the season finale next week at Armory Digital Super Speedway. Coming into this race, the points are somewhat close from second on down, but Eric and Rage has actually been putting on a clinic right now in the standings, coming into this race 29 points ahead of Chris Washer. What will Talladega do to play into this championship battle? We're moments away from finding out. Zach Hamlin finds himself on the pole. He almost picked up a victory last week at Thornton as he was one of the trucks up there at the front in the closing stages. He's still looking for his first Truck Series win of the season, and he's also looking for some good experience in today's race that he may be able to utilize in tomorrow's Mobile Cup Series race, a series in which he is battling for the championship. Alongside of him is going to be Bob Fergus. Fergus has just been having such a horrible season. Really would love to have a win before the season ends, as he'll start off from the second position. Chris Dollerton was another driver who was up near the front of the field last week at Thornton. Still looking for his first win of the season. He'll start from third, and the highest starting chaser in today's race will be rookie Caleb Farrell. He is third in the point standings and comes into this race a total of 34 points out of the top position, looking for his second win of the season. Time to get these trucks rolling off, though, as they complete the pace lap. We'll show you your starting grid on the top of your screen. The chasers highlighted in yellow, but only a couple of them come into this race still in the hunt for the championship. And Rage is the points leader. Chris Washer, as we mentioned, he's second. Caleb Farrell third. John Cittadino fourth. Charles Jackson fifth. LJ Mills sixth. And Sean Galligan in seventh. Those drivers are 46 points separation from first on down through seventh. Then you got Dylan Poteet, the defending champion. He's eighth in the points. He comes into this race 64 points out. So he really needs to get up here at the front, possibly get a win to get himself back mathematically in the hunt, because you know that the points heading into the season finale that you have to be behind in order to still be mathematically eligible for the championship is 46 points back. So Poteet right now is just barely outside of that, or no, he's not just barely, he is outside of that by a pretty good margin. A couple of drivers that really have to have good runs in order to keep themselves in the hunt: Sean Galligan, LJ Mills, and Charles Jackson, because Galligan, 7th in points, as I mentioned, he is a total of 46 points out. And that is the maximum number you can be in order to still be in the championship hunt. So we'll see what these drivers can do today. You can bet those chasers will not be working with the 14 of Eric and Rage during the course of this race. And Rage, again, not exactly getting the best of qualifying results either. He'll be starting in the mid-pack area. He started from 41st last week at Thornton, came away with still a decent finish in the mid-20s, and a lot of his championship competitors encountered problems during that race, which allowed him to be able to continue to hold a pretty sizable points lead heading into today's race. So pace truck will peel off. We'll get ready to go. 29 laps of racing. Pit window is going to be somewhere between 15 to 18 laps, so these drivers will have to make at least probably 2 pit stops, depending on where and if cautions fall into play. Here we go, though. Zach Hamlin gets ready to put us under the green flag here at Talladega Super Speedway. What's the chase standings going to look like heading into the season finale at Armory? Talladega's about to let us know as we are green flag racing at Dega. Drivers not really wanting to test the waters of that extreme outside line just yet. Thought I saw one driver jump up there. That's actually Luke Walker. Interesting, Luke Walker, the driver who won here at Dega the first time we were here, dropping to the back. That could be strategy, and I saw a couple drivers hit the apron there. I don't rightly know who they were, but we've seen that actually work in the Last of Us Late Series race too. I don't know if actually NNSCRA has allowed them to actually use that apron here at Dega or not. Well, they're getting really racy back there. Back Cody Lamas, Charles Jackson company, as Chris Dollerton goes around to the lead, and he will lead the first lap of the race. Look at that 17 back there just in Talampas. He is slicing and dicing every which way. It's like the second time I've seen him move 3 lanes down in just 1 lap. He's trying to pick up his first win of the season. He just came off a victory in the Mobile Cup Series last week at Thornton. That was John Trolston that went down towards the apron that time in 29. And you see Eric Enrage right there in the middle. He's starting to work his way to the front there. I think he's just outside the top 10, maybe just inside the top 10. Right now running behind the 9 of Jessica Shelton. Here comes John Cittadino diving down low as he's moved up to 3rd. Cittadino, one of those drivers still in the hunt for the championship, and right now running very well. Wow, right there it looked like he actually had to back out of the throttle a little. Whoa, man, back here they're 4 wide. Cody Lamas forcing the issue. And Matthew Daly wisely backing out, but they're still 4 wide there. Joe Davis going underneath him. Bob Fergus going underneath him. That's getting really hairy back there. Dylan Young goes way down towards the apron. Saw Tanner Sullivan doing the same, and oh no, don't go 4 wide again. They almost were. Oh man, Shelton trying to tuck up right in behind the Cody Lamas machine. Succeeds in doing so. They are 3 by 3 by 3, and they're 4 wide back here. Matthew Dalio getting kicked to the high side. PJ Williams back here with Zach Buchanan, Drew Austin. And there's Chris Washer second in points there, as well as chaser Sean Galligan. He's actually fallen back here with his teammate, Levi McIntyre in the 22. And they are still 4 wide back here. Now LJ Mills, Henry Sanford, James McLeod, and now I think they've settled it out. I think they're okay. Man, a lot of hard racing all the way up through this field. There's Cody Hagan on the apron. Look at Stephen Pollard the third. If I'm not mistaken, I think he started this race from either 40th or 41st. He's up here now inside the top 10. And Charles Jackson up here now in the 3rd position right behind John Cittadino. These two really need good runs to get themselves right up there in contention for the championship next week at Armory. But look who's gotten to the inside line now. The 14 of the points leader, Eric Enrage, is now starting to work his way up here to the front. Stephen Paul III stepping out of line there on last week's winner, Daniel Boyles. That would, I believe, be for the 4th position. Tanner Sullivan, Homestead Miami Speedway winner, right there as well. And they're 4 wide again back there for a brief moment. I think they just settled it back out to 3 wide racing, but I'm not sure. It's back around Jake Rogers. Yep, they're just 3. 3 wide's okay. 4 wide is okay with a question mark. There's a certain kind of 4 wide that works. There's a certain kind of 4 wide that's absolute death sentence. It just depends on which side of the spectrum these drivers decide to flirt with danger. This has been really hard racing all the way back through this field. One driver that's got to be loving it, though, has got to be Chris Dollerton, because really John Cittadino has not left his back bumper. Those two have been working together quite a bit here at the front of the field. A little bit of champion respect there, maybe. Dollerton, a former Truck Series champion, and Cittadino, a former Snickers Cup Series champion, but now Dollerton's about to lose his drafting buddy as teammates will battle for second. Tanner Sullivan underneath of John Cittadino. And here comes Carson Gum up the inside line. Gum is eliminated from the championship hunt. He has a total of 111 points out of the top spot coming into this race. But he would love to be able to still pick up a victory, as one driver has already hit the pit lane. That was Jake Rogers coming to pit road. PJ Williams has also come. Nick Smith as well. And oh man, Alex Pedro's way back here. I think he may have lost the draft, did the 7. I saw a straggler earlier on. He may have gotten kicked up to the high side in a 4-wide situation, and sometimes it's very difficult on the start of a race, when that car's trying to get up to full speed, to be able to catch back onto the slipstream, and I think that might have been what just happened to Alex Pedro in the 7. Comes another chaser up into the top 5, Sean Galligan. Remember, we just saw him a couple of laps ago working at the rear of the field with his teammate Levi McIntyre. And here come the leaders to pit road. Well, Cittadino just crossed about 4 lanes of traffic in front of a lot of drivers to come to pit road. That was awfully dicey. Dollerton's in, so is Sullivan, Galligan, Gum, Cittadino. There's McLeod, Jessica Shelton. There's Caleb Farrell in. Chris Washer. I don't think Poteet's come in this lap. He's another of those drivers in the hunt for the championship we got to keep an eye on. There he is. He actually has stayed out. He's at the tail end of this lead pack. Also, the points leader, Eric and Rage, deciding to stay out an extra lap. This is the battle for the lead right now between John Trollston and Brandon Krasta. There's Matthew Daly, who we saw very unceremoniously moved up to the high side in a 4-wide situation a couple of laps ago. And I'm pretty certain these drivers now will be coming down pit road this lap. And yep, all of them are coming. Trollston, Daly, and Rage, Krasta, Dylan Young, Austin, Dunham, Voiles, Fergus. There's Poteet with Hagan and Mason Wood just ahead. George Roque also in. And so now it's going to be an interesting question of who's going to be cycling around as the leader. Tanner Sullivan beat Chris Dollerton off pit road. So if they're able to cycle around at the front, Sullivan would be the new leader here at Dega. Dollerton right behind him now. And it's Galligan, Carson Gum, and Zach Buchanan that are right now in the top 5 at the current moment, but that's before we find out if they're going to catch up to these other drivers who just pitted on this past lap. And Dollerton, he wants to cycle back around as the leader. And they just passed John Trollston, Eric, and Rage. So I believe you're looking right now at the lead pack of this race. It will be Dollerton, Galligan, Carson Gum, Tanner Sullivan, and Zach Buchanan after the cycle of green flag pit stops. We've got to give him one more lap around before we'll give you a full field rundown. I don't know if the 94... Oh, he is on the lead lap. I didn't know if maybe... Because I know he was running at the back of the pack when those pit stops took place. So was P.J. Williams, pretty much. They were just kind of riding around. I didn't know if they were still on the lead lap or not. But apparently so. So as they're going to come down here to the stripe, we'll get our updated running order. Carson Gum trying to lead this lap. Let's see if he gets Dollerton at the line. I believe he did. So Carson Gum will be the leader of this lap. He's the leader. Second place is Chris Dollerton. Third place was Zach Buchanan. Fourth was Tanner Sullivan. Fifth place was Jake Rogers. Nick Smith was sixth. Sean Galligan seventh. Those top 7 have broken away. Then there's 8th place P.J. Williams all by himself. And then here's a battle for 9th, including McLeod, Jessica Shelton, Citadino, McIntyre, Daly, Trollston, Pollard, points leader Eric and Rage, and Luke Walker. Brandon Krasta, all by his lonesome right now in 18th. Drew Austin 19th. Last week's winner Daniel Voiles 20th. 21st is Dylan Young. 22nd Charles Jackson, so he lost a lot of ground on that pit stop. 23rd place Joe Davis. 24th Jessica Villanueva. Pole sitter Zach Hamlin all the way back here, along with Cody Hagan. Caleb Barrow lost a lot of ground on that pit stop. Matthew Dallio and Kyle Matthews back here as well. Trent Dunham right now scored in 30th, this time by... Is he up any higher? Nope, he's 30th. 31st, Bob Fergus. 32nd, Cody Lamas. 33rd, George Roque. Chris Washer all the way back in 34th. 35th is Andreas Allen. Henry Sanford, 36th. Dylan Poteet's all the way back in 37th. This is not good for Poteet, because remember, he needed a good run today, pretty much a win, to get himself back mathematically in the hunt to defend his title. He may not have it today. Mason Woods in 38th. Bob Jones all the way back in 39th. LJ Mills and Justin Talampas. This is a battle for 40th. And Alex Pedro still running all by his lonesome in 42nd place. So right now it's 7 drivers at the front. Out of these 7 drivers, only 2 have been to victory lane this season. That was Tanner Sullivan winning at Homestead, Miami, and Sean Galligan winning at Chicagoland. A couple of these drivers have been close. Oh no, I'm sorry, Jake Rogers also won. He won at Texas, I apologize. So 3 of these top 7 have been to victory lane. Nick Smith was close to winning at Lime Rock, but he ended up getting bested by veteran James McLeod. So he's looking for a little bit of redemption there. Carson Gum's been close a couple of times. And Chris Dollerton was close last week at Thornton. So right now, this race has certainly turned into a... I don't know. Not really a bore fest, because they're racing hard up here in these top 7. But the green flag pit stops have certainly taken and split everything up. The last thing these 7 drivers want to see, though, is a caution flag. They don't want all those other competitors coming up here and possibly taking away the odds of them going to victory lane. And you got to think here, too, this is a great opportunity for one Sean Galligan, because he's up here with these top 7. He's basically, at this current moment, guaranteed a top 10 finish. And with the fact that he needs a good run to get himself up as close as he can in the season finale at Armory for that battle for the championship, I mean, this is exactly what he needs to have happen here. So he's probably, out of these 7, the number 1 guy who does not want to see a caution flag happen. Let's find out where points leader Eric and Rage is. Actually, this is actually a much even better battle. This is actually back from 8th position on back. Charles Jackson leading this lead group. Luke Walker's in this, as well as Caleb Farrell and Eric and Rage. John Cittadino as well. So right now, the way it's looking, with where LJ Mills is running, we saw him in a battle for 40th with Justin Talampas. Oh, is McLeod coming in? He is coming in. So is Matthew Dalio. More pit stops. And I don't know if maybe anybody from that lead 7 came down. Nope, apparently not. So Dalio is in. Let's jump back to him again. There he is. McLeod, Joe Davis, Henry Sanford, Chris Washer, and Stephen Pollard III all coming in. Bob Jones and LJ Mills coming to pit road as well. Talking about LJ Mills, what I was going to say was, right now it looks like he and Dylan Poteet could very well fall out of contention for the championship, leaving us a total of 6 drivers still in the hunt, in Rage, Washer, Farrell, Cittadino, Jackson, and Galligan. But this race ain't over yet, as now drivers from that top 7 are coming in. Had PJ Williams caught up to these guys? Maybe he had. I thought he had lost the draft on them, but apparently not. Dollarton in, Sullivan. Galligan has also come in this lap. Jake Rogers, I believe, has also hit the pit lane. Zach Buchanan also in, Carson Gum. And there you see the drivers from the second group in. There's Farrell, Trollston. There's Eric and Rage, the points leader. Right now having a really good run. Came in with a 29-point advantage over Chris Washer. Washer not running well here today after that cycle of pit stops the first time. As in Rage is down and away. And everybody else cycling around here. Pedro going to come in this lap, I believe. Oh no, PJ Williams had already pitted a lap earlier. Okay. And this is the leader coming in. Daniel Voiles going to come to pit road now. Cittadino and Drew Austin right behind him. And I think, yeah, those are the only 3 that were left to pit. So Cittadino, interesting. He's the only chaser that decided to stay out an extra lap over everybody else, along with non-chasers Drew Austin and Daniel Voiles. Voiles, a rather lengthy stop there. They want to get that truck completely full of fuel in case this thing goes into another long green flag run. Drew Austin's going to beat him off pit road, though. Is Cittadino going to get off ahead of these guys? Nope. So it looks like Austin will come off pit road first. But where are those other leaders? Here they come. And they are not going to hang on to the lead at all. Tanner Sullivan's going to come out on top. Buchanan will be second. Third will be Dollarton. Fourth place will be Carson Gum. Galligan's going to be fifth. Sixth place, I believe, will be Bob Fergus. Seventh, Jake Rogers. Eighth place, Nick Smith. And then this is a battle going on here for around the 9th, 10th spot on back. Dylan Young, Charles Jackson, Stephen Pollard III, Trollston, Davis, Dalio, and Matthew Dalio. There's Eric and Rage, just ahead of our winner from Lime Rock, James McLeod. And look who's been just keeping himself in this hunt, just barely keeping himself in there. Our winner the first time here at Talladega, Luke Walker in the 38. So don't count out that 38. I'm certain they've got a plan. So right here's the first group. It's a, what is it? 5-car breakaway, even though Alex Pedro was not on the lead lap. They got 4 more cars back here from 5th on back through 8th. and then this big group that's going to try and catch them. So there's a bit of a gap separating the three groups. They all came down and pitted on lap 8. They pitted on lap 16, which means that the fuel window is much smaller here, apparently, in the Truck Series race. About 8 to 10 laps is what the fuel window is now. And that means, according to my calculations, they're going to have to pit at least one more time if we still remain under the green flag. These top 5, they're getting reeled in. Actually, I should say top 4 in lap machine of Alex Pedro are getting reeled in. Galligan has caught them. At least caught their draft. So is Nick Smith, so is Bob Fergus and Jake Rogers, and they're about to make it a 5-truck pack up here at the front of the field. And apparently my phone is ringing, so it'll be 10 to go when they hit the stripe. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back as you're watching the 9th chase race of the season here at Talladega Superspeedway. Tanner Sullivan is currently leading. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. If you're just joining us, you are in for one great finish, because all of a sudden, that little group that was leading the way has all of a sudden been caught. And this is getting really chaotic up here at the front now. Sean Galligan has just now used the lap machine of Alex Pedro to take the top position. And looks like they're coming to pit road again. This would fit into the pit window, I think. That was Matthew Dalley and Joe Davis coming to pit road, and so just as soon as the field all gets bunched up, now drivers are hitting pit road to come and make pit stops again. As Galligan leads, Nick Smith, Jake Rogers, Tanner Sullivan trying to get an outside line going. There's L.J. Mills in the 42. I don't know if he's on the lead lap or not. It's easier to get to him this way, actually. No, he's not. He's a lap down machine. But then you got Carson Gum, Stephen Paul III, Zach Buchanan, Bob Fergus, and the 83 of Chris Dollerton. As we're coming into our 3rd cycle of green flag pit stops, that's Alex Pedro. He is, I believe, 1 lap down, and here come the leaders. Zach Buchanan, Drew Austin, and Daniel Voyles going to stay out. Contact between the 94 and the 2, Nick Smith and Sean Galligan. Smith was trying to get to his pit box and just got completely blocked out. As you see everybody else coming to make their pit stops here. And this is the next to last race of the season. This race is going to put together what the scenario looks like as far as who's going to still be in the hunt for the championship next week of the season finale at Armory Digital Superspeedway. This is a battle for the lead. Daniel Voyles is going to kind of get the side draft off his teammate Chris Washer, who is now a lap down, to be able to go by Zach Buchanan for the lead. Drew Austin now going to dive down there as well. And here come Voyles and Drew Austin coming in. Zach Buchanan's going to hit the pit lane as well. John Cittadino, another of the drivers that stayed out, he'll be in this lap. He and Voyles and Austin all decided to stay out an extra lap under the last cycle of pit stops. And I do believe this will have us all good for the drivers on fuel for the remainder of this race, I believe. I don't know if they're going to have to make another pit stop on the final lap or something. I certainly hope not. Oh, P.J. Williams apparently stretched it too far. He is out of fuel. Trying to coast that number 21 back to pit road. Apparently stretched it 1 lap too far. Did the 21. This could be the potential battle for the lead. I don't know. And it's interesting, too. It's the two drivers that made contact with each other on the pit lane. Galligan's got a little bit of rear end damage, you can see there, as well as right side. Nick Smith's got left side damage. I'm not certain how it's going to affect either one of these drivers. Daniel Voyles, he's going to try and get out ahead of these guys. There's Matthew Dallio and Joe Davis. That's actually, I believe, the two drivers that would cycle around at the front. They ended up pitting earliest of any driver on this last cycle of pit stops. And I believe that's it. Yeah, Daniel, make that Matthew Dallio, I believe, is going to cycle around as the leader. There's nobody else ahead of him that is running any higher. P.J. Williams has finally gotten his car to pit road. As they come to the stripe, 5 laps remaining here at Dega. Matthew Dallio will be the leader. Second place, Daniel Voiles. Third, Drew Austin. Fourth, Joe Davis. Then you got chaser Sean Galligan in fifth. Sixth, Nick Smith. Zach Buchanan in seventh. Eighth place is Tanner Sullivan, battling with the lap machine of L.J. Mills. Ninth place, Jake Rogers, and Stephen Pollard, the third, is right now in 10th. John Trollston's 11th. 12th place, Carson Gum. Citadino 13th. 14th is Jackson. 15th place is Luke Walker. Then you got Matthew Daly. Wait, is Chris Washer back on the... Oh, Chris Washer's back on the lead lap. He's 15th right now. So great job getting back on the lead lap for the 5. Dollarton's back here as well as McLeod. That's back through 19th. And there's points leader Eric Enrage. He's back in what I guess this would be the 5th group. Back with Levi McIntyre, Mason Woods, Shelton, Dylan Young, and George Roque. He's scored right now in the 23rd position. Dylan Pote working with his friend Trent Dunham. He's 28th right now. That's not going to be enough to keep him in the hunt for the championship next week. Caleb Farrell has lost a lot of ground. He's actually got some damage on the right rear of his MetLife Toyota. Guy who comes in third in points is 33rd on track right now. Here you saw Zach Hamlin, the pole sitter, all the way back in 37th here with Jessica Villanueva. Justin Talampas, we saw him making moves at the very beginning of the race. He's back in 38th all by his lonesome. And now Bob Jones is about to go a lap down to the leaders, as they have caught up to the back bumper of the FedEx Toyota. So out of this group right here, two of them are not, well, one of them's on the lead lap, one of them's a lap down. The 7 of Alex Pedro is a lap down. Bob Jones just ahead there, and the 11 is on the tail end of the lead lap. If they bypass him, he will be a lap down. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers out of this pack that are still on the lead lap in the hunt for this win. They include Matthew Dallio, Drew Austin, Zach Buchanan, Daniel Voiles, Sean Galligan, Nick Smith, and Joe Davis. And now they're all going to get into a single file formation train. That didn't last long. Drew Austin going to go underneath for the lead here on Matthew Dallio. Dallio won earlier on this season at Darlington. Drew Austin has yet to go to victory lane this season, and he'll go to the point. Whoa, Talampas throwing a block there. Now that he threw the block on the 11 of Bob Jones because that's actually for position between those two, even though it's for the last spot on the lead lap. And Drew Austin says, forget this, I'm going to go way down here and bypass both of you if I can. Not going to be able to make the move this time, though, as it's double wide between two drivers on the tail end of the lead lap, just ahead of the leaders. Zach Buchanan trying to get the outside line going and trying to get around Drew Austin the hard way. This time around, it will be the white flag displayed. Who's going to win this race? Will it be Buchanan? Will it be Austin? Galligan, could he do it as a chaser, the only chaser up here in this lead pack? Could Matthew Dallio pick up his second win? Could Daniel Voiles go 2 in a row? Or could Nick Smith or Joe Davis come up here and capture their first win of the season? White flag was displayed. Austin now forges a hole past the now lap machine of Justin Talampas. Galligan follows him in the line there with Matthew Dallio right behind. Now here comes Austin going to work on the on the tail end of the lead lap car of Bob Jones. Oh man, 4 wide back here. Is Zach Buchanan going to wisely back out of it though? And Drew Austin now is boxed in between some lap machines. And that may be his best friend right now. He's got a bit of a shield right now between himself and Matthew Dallio. Here he comes, down to the low line to stop any advance in the inside line. But here goes Matthew Dallio trying to get by with help from Justin Talampas. Not going to be able to do it though. Drew Austin's going to hang on and capture his first Truck Series win of the season here at Talladega Super Speedway. Man, Matthew Dallio was willing to work with Justin Talampas, help him get back on the tail end of the lead lap, and use him to be able to try and draft by Drew Austin at the line. But Drew Austin was lucky enough that they didn't have enough momentum, and he was able to hang on for the win here today at Dega. Great win for that 51 team. 23rd in the point standings, and he'll have his first Truck Series victory of his career. He's won in mobile, he's won in Snickers to my knowledge, but he's never had a Truck Series victory, and he finally gets one here today in his rookie season. Let's take a look at our official finishing results. This race from Dega, I'll tell you what, man, took a while to complete as it went green flag from start to finish with a lot of strategy and pit stops taking place. As far as our chasers, the highest finishing chaser today was Sean Galligan, 4th place. So this will put him in a good spot as far as in the hunt next week for the championship. Next highest finishing chaser was Carson Gum, but he's already out of the hunt for the championship. Chris Washer managed to come back to finish 15th. John Cittadino was in 16th, so those two, they're still probably in the hunt for the championship. Luke Walker won this event the last time we were at Talladega, but he'll finish 18th here today. Charles Jackson was 19th, so I think that'll keep him in the hunt because he finished ahead of Eric and Rage, who finished in 22nd. See where Washer 15th, 22nd for Enrage. That cut it down by 7 points, which means it's a 22-point advantage that Enrage will have over Washer heading into next week. And then as far as the rest of the chasers, I think Dylan Poteet, who finishes out the day in 35th, LJ Mills, who finishes a lap down in 41st, I think those two have now been eliminated from the championship competition. Caleb Farrell was 31st. I don't know if he's still going to be in the hunt either. He very well might be, though. He might just barely be. But Drew Austin's going to take the checkered flag here today at Talladega Super Speedway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Dega. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Certainly going to put an interesting light on the Mobile and Snickers Cup Series races coming up here in the next couple of days as far as how the chase will look for those two series heading into the season finale weekend at Armory. Oh boy, so if you guys enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Here comes your official full finish results, overall points standings, rookie points, and your chase points heading into next week. The drivers that are highlighted in yellow on the chase points are the drivers that are still mathematically in the hunt to win the championship next week at Armory. Also be sure to follow the NNSCRA on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links are in the description, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. Dougie Shears just got turned by the lap machine of Charles Sanford, but now he's got left side damage. But he still opens up his distance. He still keeps a distance between himself and second place McCurry. But all that ground he gained, he just lost right there. But what a save!